So in this video, I'm going to start adding color to my still life painting. So I have my canvas, I did my underpainting with my burnt sienna and my white. And then here it is. And then I have my picture. I actually printed off my reference picture. And then I made it to where it's kind of standing up for me so I can see, so there's not this big glare on it from my lamp. Anyway, so there's my reference. It's right in front of me. However you have your reference, if it's pulled up on your laptop or your phone, or you printed it out, make sure it's always right in front of you, because you always have to be looking at it back and forth. And then here's my container with my paints in it. I needed to get more red and more blue because I used it all up from the landscape painting, and I need to get more white. And then I have my paper plate that I like to mix my paints on. You can also use a page from your sketchbook if you want, or a paper towel, to mix your paints on. All right, so I'm going to start with the blue ornament first, and this video may just be the blue ornament, and then I'll probably make another video for the white jug, and probably a video for these two guys, and I'll probably keep making videos for some of the other objects in all the still lifes, because they all are all kinds of different colors, all these objects that you have to draw. So remember from our underpainting, this is where I used my burnt sienna, and that's where it was darker on my ornament. So now I'm probably going to use my base color is going to be my cobalt blue. So I'm going to kind of find that, what we called in our landscape painting, that local color. That brush is not working. Or that main color. So I'm going to kind of start with cobalt blue, because that's going to be my medium value, because then remember from there then we move on to our highlights and our darker values. And so see how what's underneath is helping get that cobalt blue lighter and darker. And then see how I'm painting with the shape of my ornament, my sphere. I'm not going up and down. I'm not going straight left to right. I'm painting with the curve or the contour. And I went ahead and mixed a little bit of white to get a lighter value really quick. Because with this is going to be, it's a bit different than the landscape painting. With the landscape painting, they're more, I would say, full of texture and mixing of the colors. Whereas this is going to be a lot more definitely blending of these colors and getting them to be nice and smooth from one value to the next. So this is going to challenge you in a different way than the landscape painting did. And the thing is what you probably already learned, is this acrylic paint likes to dry fast. So you have to be moving pretty quickly if you want to get this stuff to keep blending. And so to get my cobalt blue darker, and also bring back, before you did your landscape painting, hopefully you did some of those color theory studies and color mixing of some of these colors together. So kind of remember what you did with that, how to get these colors darker, how to get them lighter, using the phthalo green and the phthalo blue and a little bit of raw umber sometimes. It just kind of depends what color combination you need to use to get them a little bit darker. So bring back that sheet, hopefully, that you have, or do it again to kind of refamiliarize with how to get things darker. And so remember, I'm going to be working with different brushes. So now I have a brush that has my darker values on it. Now I have a brush that's just kind of my base cobalt blue. And then probably what you're going to use more with this painting is maybe a brush that has nothing on it, like a dry brush, to help kind of blend these two values together. So it's a brush that has nothing on it, but it kind of helps do the work of blending these paints and values together. but you got to get it done before it gets too dry. That's the trick. You can't walk away and then come back a few minutes later and expect for it to work. But then you do need it to dry sometimes so that you layer and add more values, more darker values. I need to wait till it dries down there so that it can I can add a little bit more. So see how then I use that dry brush that doesn't have anything on it to kind of soften where those two come together. And see how where there's little glares, I kind of left those areas alone because I will come back and bring in the light. But that'll probably be like one of the last things I do to bring in. This whole time I'm always kind of looking at my reference photo. So my light source is coming from the top right. So it's going to be lighter on this side. But this side also has a little bit of light because there was a reflection from the window happening. So that's why it's kind of light over here. But I do need to get it a little bit darker up here. I need to work harder at that. Kind of curves around this little glare that I have. So just like the landscape painting, we want our objects to have a lot of different colors, a lot of different values. You need your dark values, your medium, and your light values to make it look like these three-dimensional forms. So this is definitely going to be a lot more manipulating these paints with your brush, I feel like, than the landscape painting. I'm going to be really paying attention to how they blend and how they come together. Really make sure you have several brushes happening that have these different values on them. So I had to wait a little bit for that to dry so that I could like put that over it. And that got a little too dark. Now I need to come in with that brush that I know has a medium value on it to kind of soften it back a little bit. Let it blend a tiny bit. Maybe I'm ready for the glare, a little highlight. And sometimes you may have to add a little bit of white, but then let it dry and then come back and add a little bit more to make it like really stand out. Because sometimes just one layer, one coat isn't really going to do anything sometimes, depending on what's underneath. As you can see, I'm not a fan of how this edge is happening up here at the top, so I need to kind of come back and fix that, because I can still see a little bit of that burnt sienna underneath, so I'm going to make it try to, and there is kind of like a really light glare up there, but I can only do so much. I'm going to get it covered. Sometimes you can even use your finger to blend it or soften stuff. Like if you put a little bit too much paint on, you can use your finger to kind of dab it or soften it a little bit. So right now I'm adding like there's like a little bit of a reflection hanging out up there. Maybe I'll try and get this a little bit lighter over here. Just a little bit. I'm like barely putting it on there. I'm like feathering it on there. All right, so now I'm going to come back with the white, just completely white, because I need to go over that again. There's a little glare over there. Now I need a little bit more just cobalt blue to clean it up, because it kind of wasn't that great to go around it. I gotta be careful. And what brush has my dark value on it? I'm going to get a little bit darker down here. I need to clean up around this highlight. And so really my edges are still like a little messy, but when I start painting in like the mug over here, that'll help clean it up, and then the picture over here, because they're gonna complete and clean up obviously those sides, but I'm not gonna do that yet. So now I'm gonna paint in my shadow. So I'm gonna try and get a nice dark value, but I'm definitely gonna make sure the base of it is like blue, because I know it looks black, but I'm not like, we don't really want it to be black, and we don't use black paint. So I'm gonna probably mix my phthalo green, bright red, some phthalo blue to get this nice. And now that I'm looking at my reference picture, my shadow, I need to fix it. It did not come low enough on my canvas, or over enough, so I need to see how I'm fixing that here now with my pencil, and that's okay. All right, so I needed to make it bigger. But now you can see the difference between the burnt sienna that was underneath and then where the burnt sienna is not, from where I had to add. So now you can see the difference of how much of a difference it does make to have our underpainting there and how much it really does help darken colors and even lighten colors. So it really does make a difference. And now you can see that. So what is that going to mean? I'm probably going to have to go over that one area a bit more than the area that already has the burnt sienna. So see how, and you're going to have to let it dry a little bit to overlap and layer it. I can't quite finish it completely. Need to get all the way up to the edge. I need to make more pink. See how it's going to take me a little bit to get that to layer. Merging with that a little bit. I don't want to go too far into the picture because this picture, bottom of the picture is going to be a lot cleaner when I actually paint it and like cleaned up that roundness. So, all right, so I'm going to stop there. So that's the ornament.